Hello, Robin here for Cheetah Stand. I'm here to introduce the Cheetah Stand Background Stand Kit. This is one of the best background stands that I've seen for the price on the market. Let's take a look at some of the features so you can decide if this is the right one for you. First, let's take a look at the crossbar. The crossbar has 4 sections. You can use 2, 3, or 4 sections depending on the width of the backdrop and the space that you have available. The maximum width between the inside of this crossbar, or the stand to this stand, is a total of 10 foot 3 inches. This will hold pretty much any standard 9-foot paper roll perfectly. If you're using just 2 sections, the overall width is 4 foot 11 3/4 inches. This is perfect for the shorter 53-inch paper rolls. If you're using a 6-foot backdrop, you can use 3 sections of this and you get a total of 7 foot 7 inches of width. Let's take a look at how this breaks down. There's a locking knob here to hold the crossbar in place so it doesn't come off accidentally. This is a standard 1/4 stud here. The sections break apart. We have a locking pin here, and this separates the crossbars. So now, if I wanted to set it up with just 2 sections, now I've got my narrow crossbar. Now this stand will extend up to a maximum height of 9 feet 5 inches. That's from the ground to the top of the crossbar. It has a minimum height, if I were to go all the way down, of 3 foot 2 inches. Let's take a closer look at some of the details of the crossbar. Okay, let's take a look at how the crossbar fits on top of the stand. The crossbar has a large hole and a smaller hole. The large hole fits over the tip of the stand. The stud comes through the smaller hole. Then we simply take the knob and lock the crossbar in place. Now let's take a look at inserting the sections of the crossbar, or putting them together. There's a hole here, pin here, and if you notice, the crossbar is indexed. So you can't put it together incorrectly, and this makes it much stronger because there's also slots here that make this stronger. Simply push the pin in, align the slots, and slip it together. Fits nice and tight, nice and strong. Okay, let's take a closer look at some of the features of the stands that make up the background stand kit. First of all, and very important, is these stands are air cushioned, which means that when you loosen, it doesn't come crashing down. Your backdrop doesn't crash down, make loud noises, possibly fall. So that's very important, one of the best features of this particular stand. Another important feature is that this stand, when you're not using it to hold a backdrop, you can use it to hold lights. It has a standard 5/8 inch tip. It has a standard 1/4 stud on the end of the tip. Simply take your light, slide it down over the top, and now you have a 9.5 foot light stand that's air cushioned. The tip of the stand can also be moved here if you prefer. The clamps that hold the stand up and keep it from retracting are all metal. This differs significantly from a lot of the cheaper stands that are out there that use plastic clamps here that eventually strip, crack, and break. Now let's take a look at the base of the stands. From tip to tip, they're 36 inches. This gives you a very wide, strong base to make it much less likely that the stand will tip over. To break the stand down, simply loosen this knob, close it down. From here to here, when it's closed, is a total of 32 inches. It's best to use the stand with it fully extended. However, if you're using it in a narrower situation and you need to save some space, you can close it down as much as this. Now understand, this does make it less stable. You've got a narrower base, but it can be used this way in a pinch. As an option, we do sell casters that can be used to turn the stand into a rolling stand. The casters have two parts. They have this spacer with a pin in it. The pin fits into a hole in the back of the stand. This locks it into the correct position. Simply line up the hole with the pin. Make sure the screw is fully retracted on the caster. Slide it over and tighten it down. Do this for each and you have a rolling stand. Now you can see I've got all three casters installed. We have a nice rolling stand. I have found that the casters work best if you adjust these crossbars at a slight angle. This positions the angle of the casters perfectly so they're rolling smooth and flat. Okay, I've set up my background stand kit with two sections of the crossbar and I have my casters installed. I'm going to go ahead and place a backdrop on this stand. I have clamps in place because this particular backdrop doesn't have a pocket. I've left one knob off here so I can lift this up. Now I can raise my backdrop up into position. I usually recommend starting with the top section, lifting it, then the next section and lifting it. Now if you're by yourself, you'll probably have to go back and forth a bit to get this done. This is one of those jobs that's quite a bit easier if you have an assistant. Now this backdrop's been rolled up a while, so it probably needs a weight to hold it down in place. But you can see, pretty simple setup even by myself. Now here's a really cool use for the casters. Say you're in a situation where you have to make a quick change between two different backdrops. With the casters on, simply mount both backdrops back to back. When you need to switch, roll your backdrop around and you're ready to go. Remember, for the best products and best customer service for your photography equipment, always think Cheetah Stand. That's all for now. Thanks.